Welcome to Red-Handed Crimes channel. Don't forget to subscribe. Clock struck 2:47 a.m. when the call came in. A panicked voice, barely coherent, gasped into the receiver. "Please, you have to send someone. There's blood everywhere." The dispatcher tried to calm the caller. "Sir, I need you to stay on the line." "Where are you?" 106, Fairmont Drive, the voice trembled. "I think she's dead." By the time officers arrived, the small suburban house was eerily silent. The metallic scent of blood clung to the air. In the dim glow of the streetlights, they found Jessica Hale, a 28-year-old journalist, lying motionless in the living room. A single stab wound to the chest. No signs of forced entry. No clear struggle. And standing over her, frozen in shock, was Daniel Carter, her boyfriend. His hands, his shirt, covered in her blood. The perfect suspect. From the moment police saw Daniel, the case seemed open and shut. He was the only person in the house. The knife was from his own kitchen. Neighbors reported hearing a loud argument just hours before. And when questioned, he had no clear memory of what happened. I came home. The door was open. She was just there." A toxicology report later revealed Daniel had alcohol and sedatives in his system, though he swore he hadn't taken anything that night. To detectives, it sounded like an excuse. The prosecution painted a perfect story for the jury: a jealous boyfriend, a heated argument, an act of rage. Within 6 months, Daniel Carter was convicted of second-degree murder and sentenced to 25 years in prison. Daniel always maintained his innocence. "I love Jessica. I would never hurt her." But no one believed him. His appeals were denied, his name smeared across headlines. Even his own family began to doubt. He was a murderer. Case closed. Until, 15 years later, a new detective opened the case file and saw something that didn't add up. Detective Sarah Whitman had spent years re-examining old convictions. When she came across Daniel's case, something gnawed at her. The evidence seemed too perfect. Too clean. And then, she found it. Jessica's home had been dusted for prints, but one unidentified print was never investigated further. And when Sarah pulled old surveillance footage from a nearby gas station, her blood ran cold. A man, tall, hooded, wearing gloves, seen near Jessica's house the night of her murder. A man who had a history of stalking her. A man named Ethan Grayson. Ethan had once been obsessed with Jessica, sending her disturbing messages. Police had dismissed him at the time. He had an alibi, he was out of town. But Sarah proved otherwise. A newly surfaced traffic camera placed him just miles from Jessica's home that night. With this revelation, the case was reopened. DNA from the mystery fingerprint was tested against Ethan Grayson. It was a match. In a dramatic courtroom reversal, Daniel Carter was exonerated after 15 years behind bars. His entire youth stolen. The moment the judge declared him a free man, he broke down. So did his mother. So did the few friends who had never stopped believing in him. As for Ethan Grayson, he was arrested, tried, and convicted. He had been hiding in plain sight all those years. The real killer. Daniel Carter walked out of prison a free man, but not the same man who walked in. The justice system had failed him. And all he could do was wonder how many others were still trapped inside for crimes they didn't commit. Wrongful convictions aren't just rare mistakes, they are real tragedies. For Daniel Carter, freedom came too late to reclaim the life he lost. But for many others, the truth remains buried. How many innocent people are still behind bars, waiting for someone to find the missing piece of the puzzle? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.